Hey Chiefs Kingdom, Harrison Graham here, back with another video just for you guys. Appreciate everybody who submitted their questions using hashtag Chiefs. If I didn't get to your question, be sure to use hashtag Chiefs in the comments section and ask away, and we'll try to answer as many as we can on a future show. Let's go ahead and kick things off with Phil Mahooters using the hashtag Chiefs. Should the Chiefs sign Terrell Suggs for the rest of the season? They need more depth for the defensive line. Now, this has been something that's been floating around over the past couple of days on the internet as a possibility, and there's even reports saying that Kansas City has kept in touch with Terrell Suggs throughout the 2020 NFL season. Now, he has not signed with the team. He is still a free agent, but he is not officially retired either, despite being 38 years old. I think he wanted to hang out and see what happened, right? If the team like the Chiefs, or maybe even his former team like the Baltimore Ravens, where he's done most of the damage in his career, needed some help on that defensive line, bringing a veteran like him who can come in, play 10 or 15 snaps a game and be a good leader. That's what he was for this team last year down the stretch. I think that could happen this year, right? Taco Charlton, he has the fractured leg now, so he is going to be out probably for the rest of the season there. He's on IR. Michael Dana's been in and out of the lineup. Alex Okafor's out still. He's on IR. Lots of guys who have been banged up on this defensive line, and going to bring in a guy like T. Sizzle, a guy who has had a Hall of Fame type of career. Like, certainly he's not going to be what he was in his peak Baltimore days, but he knows the system. He knows what Spags wants to do. He's a vet. You bring him in, get him up to speed during the bye week right now, and you're ready to rock for the stretch run. I think bringing in a guy like Terrell Suggs can only have value, right? Worst case scenario, he comes in and he's washed. He's too old, doesn't offer anything. Oh, well, you cut bait, and it doesn't cost you. No harm, no foul. But I think signing Terrell Suggs makes some sense. I think it's something that the Kansas City Chiefs will definitely consider doing. Should the Chiefs sign Terrell Suggs? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Go ahead and let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to type my Y for yes. I think it's something worth doing. I think it has some upside there, and it just makes some sense with the injury, so I'm going to type my Y for yes. Something you guys need to do, maybe you're pondering that answer to get your votes in. This is something you should definitely do. Once you subscribe, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. But once you have, and I know we have a lot of new subscribers, join the Noti gang. Turn on that notification bell. After you subscribe, a little bell image will appear. Click that, and then you select all. All means you get notified on every single video we post here on the Chiefs Report. Now, you might get hit with the YouTube ad break right now, so this is a perfect opportunity to join the Noti gang by go ahead and clicking that bell and selecting all. So do that right now during the ad break. Next up is Kenny Madison or just saying sign Clay Matthews or Vic Beasley. Very quickly to the point there, Kennedy. Obviously, we just talked about T. Sizzle, Clay Matthews, Vic Beasley. A couple of guys that are still out there. Obviously, Beasley just got released by the Titans. Hasn't played much this year. So let's compare these two guys based on their numbers last year from 2019. And pretty similar, right? Both had 8 sacks, tackles for loss, quarterback hits, all that stuff. Very, very similar. I think both these guys could offer a little something. I'd probably rather have Vic Beasley. He's younger, more athletic, more versatile, which we know is something that Steve Spagnuolo likes on his defense, especially in the secondary, but I think all over, which I think Beasley can play OLB or defensive end in this scheme, whereas I think Matthews at this point is strictly just a pass rusher. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to bring in somebody, right? Whether it's Terrell Suggs, Vic Beasley, or Clay Matthews. I would lean toward Vic Beasley, but if you want to go Clay Matthews, that's fine by me. I think he's a little undersized to be strictly a defensive end in this scheme, but hey, bring him in, you work him out, you think he looks good, I got no problem with that. So we've talked about these three guys, Terrell Suggs, Vic Beasley, and Clay Matthews. Pick one. Who would you want to sign? Type TS for Terrell Suggs. Type VB for Vic Beasley. Type CM for Clay Matthews. I think Terrell Suggs is the most likely, so I'll type TS. Between the other two, I would type VB, but you can only pick one, so let me know down in the comments section. Now get going with our sports betting partner, BetUS. We've told you guys about this group for a couple of months now, and I've made a ton of money with these guys all year long. Why? Because I keep betting on the Chiefs and winning money. It's pretty simple. Even if you're not confident in the point spread, just do the money line. The Chiefs, they don't lose. Obviously, you got a bye week this week, but for the stretch run, I'd be betting on the Chiefs. But of course, you can bet on all NFL games. NBA is going to be kicking into gear in December. You can bet on those games as well. Now, if you're a brand new BetUS customer, if you haven't gotten going yet, if you sign up right now, we can hook you guys up with a brand new Chiefs jersey. This deal applies only for new customers only, and the deal is good through next Monday, November 16th. So once you sign up, deposit, and place that first bet with BetUS, email us, chiefs@chatsports.com, and we will hook you guys up with a brand new Chiefs jersey. So go to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet, get going with BetUS, use that promo code Chiefs125, and then email us, chiefs@chatsports.com, to redeem your free Chiefs jersey. Deal lasts through November 16th. Take advantage right now. BetUS, you're going to make some money, and you can get a free Chiefs jersey if you are a new customer. All right, let's keep it rolling here on the mailbag. Small Wing Wang, what a name there. Hashtag Chiefs. What are some soon-to-be free agents that you have your eye on this offseason? So he's ready to look ahead to next offseason after a Super Bowl, I hope. We've talked about some of the top free agents that Chiefs have had, so just kind of scroll those through on screen a bit for you guys. Chiefs have some notable free agents, both on offense and on defense, obviously. I'll be curious to see what if they consider bringing back a Le'Veon Bell, a Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson on defense. You got both your cornerbacks and Bashaud, Breeland, and Charvarius Ward. We'll talk about the cornerback position more in a minute, but you've got guys on both sides of the football that the Chiefs have to make decisions on internally. Now, external guys, you're going to throw these 5 guys out there. I'll be curious to see what you guys think. Alex Mack, 35-year-old center for the Falcons. I highly doubt they bring him back. 1-year deal, 2-year deal to be your center. That definitely would be an upgrade. How about Curtis Samuel? I think Curtis Samuel would be excellent in this offense. He's set for free agency. He would be a whole lot of fun. Just another speedster guy who can do some different things. Jason Verrett, a guy you could get for cheap. He has really had a bounce-back season in San Francisco. A ton of injuries, but he stayed healthy this year, and he's only 30 years old. You bring him in, he can be your nickelback or a number 2 corner type. I think that's something I would consider for cheap. How about bringing back Justin Houston? He's free agent. Are the Colts going to re-sign him? Maybe, maybe not. I'd consider seeing what his market is. And then a guy that you can get for cheap. He's got an injury this year. Solomon Thomas, former top 5 overall pick. Reclamation project. This has Chiefs written all over it, similar to Taco Charlton. I would take a swing on Solomon Thomas. What are you more excited for this offseason? Type D for the NFL draft. Type F for NFL free agency. Let me know. I'm curious what you guys are more interested in every single year. D for draft or F for free agency. And we cover it all here on the Chiefs Report. Another reason to subscribe. Next up is why not? Who can we draft to replace Ward? I'm tired of seeing him get burned. Look, it hasn't been a good year for Charvarius Ward, especially since the fractured hand there. He has not looked like the same guy. I thought he played a little bit better the past couple of weeks, but still not great. Look at the coverage stats. Giving up 65% completion, a lot of yardage there. He's given up 3 touchdowns. I think he only gave up 1 or 2 last year, so he's already given up more this season. No interceptions. Look at that quarterback rating when targeted. Over 120. That's bad. That is really, really bad. He's got to improve, and he needs to improve quickly. Good news is you guys are asking about the draft. Well, he drafted one last year with L'Jarius Sneed. Now, this is a small sample size, but giving up under 59%, much less yardage and yards per catch. Hasn't given up a touchdown. Had 2 interceptions for the 3 games he played earlier this year. He could be back soon, and obviously for the future, he will be around as well. Look at that quarterback rating, 33.8. This guy was playing like a Pro Bowler the first few weeks before he went down with injury. As far as draft prospects goes, Patrick Surtain out of Alabama. Caleb Farley is a name to keep an eye on. He's rising up draft boards. Sean Wade, those are your top 3 guys. I don't know if any of those guys would fall to the late 20s, early 30s where the Chiefs will be drafting. I think it's pretty unlikely. Darion Kendrick, Eric Stokes. There's some other guys out there as well. It's a pretty deep corner class. Asante Samuel Jr., Asante's son, is in this draft class as well. So there's a lot of names out there. Those are some ones to keep in mind. Now, we mentioned Bashaud, Breeland, and Charvarius Ward are both set to be free agents. Pick one to re-sign. I doubt both are back next year. So pick one for me. Type BB for Bashaud Breeland. Type CW for Charvarius Ward. Here's where you guys land. Let me know in the comments section. Ethan Van Kershblick? Let me know if that's how you say it, Ethan. He's next up here. Last question here. What are our options for a new offensive coordinator if we lose Eric during the offseason? Obviously, Eric Bieniemy there. I do think it's pretty likely, number one, that Bieniemy is elsewhere as a head coach. If he's not, that probably means he turned down a job or 2. You know, we already know the Texans and Falcons are open, although there is some chatter that Raheem Morris could get that Falcons job. He's done a good job as the interim. But the Texans will definitely be open. Romeo Crennel's not going to take over there permanently. Jets will be open. I think a few other jobs will probably open up as well. Some sneaky candidates like the Chargers could be open. Would he be interested in working with Justin Herbert? We'll have to wait and see. I would promote Mike Kafka if Bieniemy walks. Quarterback's coach, I think he's ready. I think he can be a play caller in this league. And we know Andy Reid calls the plays anyway. But EB does have big input, there's no doubt. I think Kafka's ready to fill that role, though. He's a name on the rise. I think he drew some interest last offseason as an offensive coordinator elsewhere, stuck around. He could get rewarded for that if Eric Bieniemy does leave. So I would promote Mike Kafka if EB is elsewhere. We'd love to have Bieniemy back. Don't think it's likely, but we will just have to wait and see what happens with him. But if he leaves, you got Mike Kafka. Andy Reid ain't going anywhere. This team will be in plenty good shape. All right, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for everybody who submitted their questions. Again, if you want to be on our next mailbag, use hashtag Chiefs and ask away in the comment section. Subscribe. We'll have videos coming up all week long. I'm Harrison Graham signing off. See you next time.